Ash still drifted in the wind like slow, dying snow, floating over the blackened ruins of what used to be home. Ryan Hale stood alone in the wreckage, his one remaining arm smeared with dirt and soot, his jaw clenched against the ache in his chest. He had survived wars, alien battlefields, and the loneliness of deep space. But this felt like defeat. He had dreamed of peace when he left the military. No more soldiers, no more blood, no more orders. Just soil, crops, silence, and a sky big enough to bury memories in. But hope didn't survive long on the frontier world of Kesson 3. Life was unforgiving here, harsher than any government recruiter had ever warned. For a long time, Ryan stared at the broken remains of the home he built with one hand and stubbornness. The wind moaned through the burnt beams. Metal groaned under its own weight. Nothing moved, nothing but the guilt inside him, alive like a parasite. If I had fixed the generator earlier, if I had installed better fire suppression, if I hadn't been so damn stubborn about doing everything alone. He shook the thoughts away, dragging a hand over his face. Regret didn't rebuild farms. Regret didn't pay debt. Regret didn't keep a man alive out here. He turned toward the old shed, one of the only structures that hadn't completely fallen. That would be home now. A roof of patched metal, a cracked water recycler, a bed made of old cargo blankets, life reduced to the bare minimum. Again, he didn't notice the ship until its shadow slid over him. A low hum vibrated through the ground. Ryan's instincts reacted before his thoughts did. His hand dropped to the holstered sidearm at his hip. No friendly ship would land unannounced in the wastelands. Raiders, debt hunters, or worse, recruiters. The transport wasn't military. Sleek, clean, too advanced to belong anywhere near a forgotten world. It settled in the dirt like a silver predator, dust curling around its hull. Its engines powered down with a hiss. The hatch began to open. Ryan took a step back, gripped tight on his weapon. Whoever was inside wasn't here by accident, and whatever was about to happen was going to change everything. The ramp of the ship lowered with a slow hydraulic hiss, sending a ripple of dust across the broken ground. Ryan's pulse steadied, battle calm, the kind that settles in just before everything goes to hell. He braced himself for soldiers, bounty hunters, collectors. But what stepped out of the ship was none of those. She moved like she didn't belong to gravity, each step controlled, deliberate, impossibly graceful. Alien, female, dangerous in a quiet, calculated way. Her skin shimmered with a faint silver-blue glow beneath the dusty sun, and long strands of metallic white hair were braided down one side of her shoulder. A fitted travel suit hugged her form, practical but clearly expensive, like something from a world where people never had to fight for survival. She looked nothing like this planet. She looked nothing like she should ever be anywhere near him. Ryan didn't lower his weapon. The stranger stopped a few feet away, studying the burned ruins around them. Her expression didn't flinch in pity or disgust. It was unreadable, like a mask polished by discipline. "Ryan Hale," she asked, her voice calm with an accent he couldn't place. Clean, melodic, like a language made for diplomacy but sharpened for strategy. He didn't answer. "Who's asking?" She set down the two heavy cases she carried as if they weighed nothing, then straightened. "My name is Laura NYX," she said. "I've come in response to your request." "My what?" Ryan frowned. She lifted a small holo panel from her belt. The screen flickered, revealing a message with his identification attached. "Seeking partner. Remote lifestyle. Willing to work. No attachments. Compensation possible." Ryan froze. He knew exactly what that was. Months ago. Drunk. Broken. Lost. He had posted a stupid application on an interstellar matchmaking network. A joke at first, then so forgotten he hadn't even remembered deleting it. "You've got the wrong guy," he said flatly. "No," she replied. "I don't." Her gaze locked onto his, steady, relentless, the kind of eyes that didn't learn how to look away. "I came here," she said, voice inching lower, "because you asked for someone who could endure hard work, silence, and isolation. Someone who wouldn't run at the first sign of trouble." Her eyes traveled over the burned land. "I don't run." Ryan holstered his weapon, but only because something told him this wasn't a threat he could shoot. And deep down, past logic, past instinct, something else whispered, This woman hasn't told me why she's really here, and whatever she brought with her is going to be trouble. For a long moment, they just stood there, two people from different worlds, surrounded by ruins and silence. Elara didn't look away even once. It unnerved him more than a gun pointed at his head. Ryan finally broke the standoff. Whatever message you answered, I don't need help, and I don't need a wife. I didn't come here for marriage, she replied calmly. I came here for survival. Her words weren't dramatic. They weren't emotional. They were flat truth, the kind that settled between them like a loaded weapon. She lifted one of the metal cases and brushed off the dust. Ryan noticed now, these weren't travel bags. The locks were reinforced, military grade, the kind smugglers used to move black market tech, which meant one thing. She was running from someone powerful. Elara, he said, voice measured. Who exactly is after you? Not who, she said. What? He stared. Her gaze didn't waver. You're not making sense. I will, she said. But not here. Not without shelter. And not while you keep your distance like I'm a problem you can just send away. Ryan exhaled slowly. Damn it. The last thing he needed was someone else depending on him. Another life tangled with his. Another chance to fail. But something about her, something beneath the composed exterior, felt like a storm held together by sheer willpower. And storms didn't survive long alone. He jerked his head toward the makeshift shed, the only structure still standing on his property. We talk inside. After that, you leave. He lifted one of her cases. It was heavier than it looked, far heavier. Whatever she brought, it wasn't clothes. Inside, the shed was cramped, metal walls, a half-broken table, crates stacked along the sides. Ryan set the case down and lit a fuel lantern. The flame flickered, throwing rugged shadows across the room. Elara scanned the space without complaint. She didn't ask about comfort. She didn't ask for food or water. Instead, she faced him like a soldier about to negotiate a ceasefire. What happened to your farm? She asked. Fire, he said. Equipment failure. She studied him, really studied him. No, she said. Something else happened to you, before this. Something that made you stop living long before this farm burned. Ryan froze. His jaw tightened. He didn't answer. Elara didn't push. Instead, she unlocked the first case. Ryan stepped closer, eyes narrowing. Inside was something that didn't belong on this world. Advanced tech, illegal tech, and enough of it to start a war. The contents of the case looked like something stolen from a classified military vault or a forbidden laboratory. Sleek crystalline modules pulsed faintly with violet light, arranged in meticulous rows beside sealed vials, metallic chips, and tools of design he had never seen before. Some pieces hummed like they were alive. Ryan didn't touch anything. He had seen tech like this before, not exact, but close enough. Out there, on battlefronts where human soldiers were used as shields against advanced alien weaponry. Tech this dangerous didn't belong in civilian hands. And it definitely didn't belong on a dying farm light years away from civilization. His voice was low, controlled. What is all this? Elara didn't answer immediately. Her gaze was fixed on the case as though she was staring at pieces of her own past, shattered, but too important to abandon. Finally, she met his eyes. It's hope, she said, and a death sentence if I'm caught with it. That doesn't answer anything, Ryan said. You need to start telling me the truth, or you're taking your mystery boxes back to whatever ship you stole them from. I didn't steal them, she said sharply. The veil of calm cracked, just a fraction. They were mine, before they tried to take everything from me. They? My own people. Ryan leaned forward slightly. Why? She hesitated. Her fingers brushed over one of the crystalline modules as if it was something fragile, something precious. Because I refused to build weapons for them. So instead, I built something else. Ryan didn't blink. She had his full attention now. What did you build? Before she could speak, the lantern flickered. Ryan's instinct screamed. He moved fast, killing the flame with one motion and pushing Elara gently but firmly down behind the crate. He reached for his sidearm and nodded once. Stay low. The shed went silent. No wind. No creaking metal, just a still, heavy tension pressing against the walls. Then he heard it, a distant hum, predatory, artificial, search drones, not from his world, not from any human corporation or local law. They were hunting. Elara didn't look surprised, only resigned. They found me sooner than I expected. Ryan chambered around, jaw tight. Whoever they are, they just made a mistake. She looked at him. Why? Because they picked the wrong farm, he growled, and the wrong human. Outside, shadows began to move. They weren't alone anymore. Ryan had faced ambushes before, pirates on asteroid belts, raiders on old war stations, silent assassins in dark corridors of forgotten worlds. But this felt different, calculated, surgical. A hunt, not a fight. Through a narrow crack in the wall, he spotted them. 3 aerial drones sweeping low, scanning the burned wreckage with pulsating red lights. Their metallic shells glimmered with a crest he didn't recognize, but Elara did. Her breath hitched. Just once. Lysarian Syndicate. The words tasted bitter in her voice. They are not soldiers. They are private hunters. They won't leave without what they came for. Ryan didn't take his eyes off the drones. They want the tech. No, she said quietly. They want me. He gave her a sharp glance. Why? She hesitated again. Too long. Too carefully. Because of what I built. Because of who I am. Ryan didn't move. Who are you? Her answer wasn't spoken. It was activated. A faint pulse of light ran beneath her skin, veins glowing with silver for a heartbeat before fading again. She looked at him, not with fear, but with defiance. I'm not just a refugee, she said. I am the last surviving heir of House NYX, one of the ruling dynasties of Lysra Prime. And these, she gestured to the case, are the last pieces of forbidden energy technology in existence. If they take me back, I disappear. And so does this. Ryan studied her in silence. So you're royalty. I was, she said. Now I'm a target. He didn't waste another second. Then we move. He rose, grabbed the case, and slung it over his shoulder despite the weight. There's a smuggler route under the old grain bunker. Leads to the ridge. We get out, regroup, and figure this out. She stared at him, stunned. You're helping me. Someone burned my life down too, he said. Difference is, I'm still standing. So are you. That's enough. Her eyes softened for the first time. Not icy, not guarded. Human. A drone spotlight cut through the shed window, searing white. Time was up. Ryan grabbed her wrist. Move! They burst out the side door just as a plasma bolt ripped through the roof behind them, exploding the shed in a wave of fire and shrapnel. They hit the ground behind a fallen beam, the shockwave roaring over them. Ryan shielded Alara's body with his own. The war he thought he left behind had just found him.